back to my screen share. And we're going to start in about 3-4 minutes. Okay?
Great. Thanks.
No, no problem. Thank you all.
Hey, Tom, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just to let everybody know, we're going to get going in about 2 minutes or so.
I think we're good with the co-host.
Cool. All right, it's 11:15, so I think we're going to get going here. You know, hopefully everyone got in the room before the bell goes off, right? Don't want anybody to get in trouble. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending today's New York City Department of Education's Beyond Access Forum. This event is brought to you by the DOE Division of Specialized Instruction and Student Support and the Office of Digital Inclusion and the New York City School Library System. Special thank you to all our partners. Be sure to visit their booths throughout the day. I'd like to take a moment to remind everyone to log on to the Conference Hub using the link sent in your confirmation email. Once you're logged in, you can visit a partner booth to learn about their offerings and book a meeting or live chat with them. You can network with all today's attendees via the registrant directory and chat features. You'll have access to all of the conference resources in the resource section. And you can also enter our Passport to Prizes, which throughout the Conference Hub, you will find several buttons to enter yourself into our Passport to Prizes. Each time you find a button and fill out the form, you will earn 1 entry into the raffle. All entries are eligible for a series of prize drawings, only 1 prize per participant. We will announce the winners via email at the end of the conference. Before we begin, I'd like to cover a few quick housekeeping items. If you have questions for the presenters during the sessions, please submit them through the Zoom chat feature. You have the option to turn on closed captioning by clicking Show Subtitle within your Zoom console. And be sure to use the conference hashtag NYC Schools Inclusion in your social media posts, please. And for CTLE credit, we'll post a link at the end in the chat for you to go to so you can claim that credit. So without further ado, thank you for your patience here. I'm jumping off here and letting the team at Follett take over.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining our session today at Beyond Access. We're going to be talking about diversity support as an organization. Just so you know, my name's Tom Foster. I'm the sales director for Follett. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover the agenda and introductions really quickly, and then we're going to just roll right into the demonstration of the tools that we have for support. You saw the picture up a little bit earlier. We have obviously a large team that works with New York City. Our library team and Tom Roche, Juliana Sacco, Julie Kieffer, and Rose Salamone. We have 2 Destiny people. Kim Herring is our technical consultant. Katrina Conte is the sales rep. And then Linda Dikun is our book fairs representative. So the first thing we're going to do is Tom Roche is going to be demonstrating a new feature, a really great new feature that we developed in Titlewave, and it's for diversity and social emotional learning analysis. It helps you to discover, manage, and report on these topics, and will also help you align the needs of your students to maximize the impact of what you require for funding and against your content goals. So after Tom goes through that, he's going to bring up Titlewave on the screen here. Then Kim Herring is going to demonstrate collections that's in Destiny, and that will help you organize the information that you have for diversity and SEL. And then Linda is going to follow and close with a little bit on book fairs and e-fairs. As you can imagine, that's been very disrupted with the pandemic these days, but we are still working through that, and she's going to give you an update on how that can still work going forward. So I'm going to beg off, and I'm going to turn it over to Tom Roche, and he's going to take us through the Titlewave demonstration.
Thanks, Tom. And good morning, everybody. Quick thank you to Melissa Jacobs Israel and Company, School Library Services, for this opportunity to speak with you all. Thanks to Tom Foster for volunteering me for doing this presentation. Over the years, Follett's always kind of been a leader in innovation. We're the company that brought you library automation. We invented MARC records. We created collection analysis. And now this is kind of a jumping off point with this new enhancement to the Title-wise collection analysis. Over the last years, we have seen a growing emphasis in districts and schools on the subjects of diversity and social emotional learning. In speaking with our school partners, we have come to understand the importance of providing students with materials that allow them to see a reflection of themselves, as well as to provide a more complete picture of the world around them. And in speaking with our customers and our school partners, we've heard some challenges like determining the amount and age and the type of diverse and SEL titles in our library collection is difficult, and it's very time consuming. Identifying weeding candidates that may include,
It's me again.
Sorry?
Okay. It's funny. We just got off the phone and I had an email from United Healthcare, and they wanted me to register you. They wanted me to, they were asking to register you.
I think we just...
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think someone accidentally muted themselves, so I took care of it.
I think I just had an out-of-body experience is what I had. Identifying weeding candidates that may include inaccurate, outdated, maybe even offensive information in the characters that are portrayed in the books, characters that have diverse backgrounds. We've heard from customers that even browsing and looking for new books that feature diverse characters or social emotional learning topics can be challenging. And then finally, once I've created a list, if there was a way to examine that list to make sure that my upcoming purchase includes these diversity and SEL, the content that I'm looking for to help, help my library collection. So to address all of these challenges, we have developed a suite of integrated tools to help our customers identify, manage, and report on over 40 diversity-related topics and 16 topics covering social emotional learning. This will allow you guys to better align to the needs of your students, maximize the impact of your purchases against your funding and your content goals. And the added information that we're talking about, it just doesn't apply to your library collection. It applies to any given title in Titlewave, and will help you with your list management. So what we're talking about is before, during, and after support in these areas. And now, cross your fingers, I'm going to share my screen.
And please don't hesitate to ask questions as we go along in the chat. We have a few people standing by to answer anything that comes by. And if we can't answer it, we'll certainly get you an answer after the session.
And Tom, can you confirm you can see the diversity profile?
Not seeing it yet.
No? Hold on one second. How about now?
Looks good. We got it.
Okay, great. So before I get started, you guys, the diversity tool is turned on, I believe, for your Titlewave accounts. If it isn't, just let us know. But this first screen is the kind of thing that you will see as you are picking the topics that are important to you for your diversity profile and your social emotional learning profile. So you guys are going to select those topics that are relevant and of interest to your individual school and your goals. And these become the only topics that will be reported. So your reporting is tailored to focus on your school's priorities. The other thing I want to mention before I go through this is that Follett is not making any recommendations regarding percentage or number of titles needed for any specific you need to give you the insight to determine what you need for your school. The diversity topics were chosen based on a lot of different elements, extensive research on our part, collaborations with customers nationwide, and then our own expertise, which includes a master's degree media specialist and educators in our collection development department. The social emotional learning topics were chosen based on these same kind of parameters, as well as supporting the goals of the 5 competencies identified by the CASEL social emotional learning framework, which includes self and social awareness. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a title-wise collection analysis. And one second. This is a simulated high school. Pardon my slow Wi-Fi here. So guys, as you guys are probably aware, the title-wise collection analysis kind of shows you empirically what you already know intuitively, but it kind of gives you a bird's eye view of your entire collection based on many different factors, including, fiction versus nonfiction, classification, age of the titles, interest levels, reading levels, etc., and kind of gives you the strengths and weaknesses of your collections. But now, once the diversity and SEL tool is turned on, you're going to see 2 new reports added to your title-wise dashboard. As I scroll down, you'll see here's diversity and SEL. And what you can then do is hit this link, explore diverse titles by topic. So what this is now giving me is the topics that I've chosen and a nice overview of my collection, and gives me all this information about these different diversity topics. So as I'm looking here, I can then also click on any given link, and I'm interested in my African American titles. I can click on that link where it says African American, and this gives me a nice magnifying glass view of those titles. What kind of books do I own in African American? I see I have 20 fiction titles, a biography, reference. So it kind of gives me a nice feel for how many of those titles I have. And then if we go back, you'll see, I can also scan the copyrights. So again, if I look at African American, my average age is 1985. That may be a little a little concerning. So I can then click under items and click under the 31 titles. And this gives me a listing of the African American titles. So this is kind of also the beginning of the weeding process. I can scan these copyrights and look for those suspects that, maybe an older copyright is a title that might have outdated, offensive, inaccurate information. And because this is part of the weeding process, we have also included this link to an Excel spreadsheet. So you can download these titles to a spreadsheet, print them up, go to the stacks, and then really do a hands-on weeding process to see whether or not these books are a match for what you're looking to do for your students. So the other thing I can do as well is, as I'm looking at my topics, I do know that Asian American titles are one that I'm interested in kind of growing the collection. It's concerning me because I see I have one book and that's it. So another nice integrated tool into the report is this search for link. So I hit search for next to the Asian American titles. And now I'm given a pre-populated search result of titles that are tagged with Asian American as a topic. And this is kind of the first example of the integration of the diversity SEL tools, to help you identify the kinds of titles that you need in any given area. The other thing I'll point out is that you'll see that any given title in Titlewave has what we call Follett tags, right? These are tags that I have to tell you, it's the way we designate a title and the tags that we put on them is a proprietary process. So if I told you, I'd have to, disappear for a while. But I can tell you it's kind of the same parameters we use for the topics that I described earlier, our expertise, et cetera. And I do know from experience, so we're very picky about the tags that we put on any given title. But these tags are also links to like titles for whatever the subject, genre, diversity topic that is listed. Okay, now what I'm also going to do, I'm not going to go through the same type of functionality for social emotional learning, but just so you're aware, under social emotional learning, the same kind of link and the same kind of functionality is available. So here's my SEL topics that I've chosen, and here's how my collection breaks down within those topics. So that's some nice enhancement to the title-wise collection analysis. And now what I'll, to describe to you the added information that's now available in Titlewave, you've kind of seen how Titlewave, Title-wise can support both diversity and SEL, but now I'll show you a little bit about how they can build on each other. One thing we know is that any given title can address both topics of diversity and social emotional learning. The CASEL framework addresses the importance of diversity and social awareness, the empathy of one another's perspective, background, and culture. But how can I identify those titles? So if I go back to my homepage on Titlewave and just hit, as an example, for the library top sellers. One thing I'll point out is that in my Titlewave account, I always keep my sort right here by popularity. You can sort by other ways, but popularity I like because it not only brings up to the top the books that we sell the most, but the books that appear on everyone's Titlewave list the most. So it's just a great way to kind of tap into the group mindset. As I mentioned before, I'm doing a kind of a high school version here. So with this large search result, I can do some quick filtering on the side. I can click, young adult, just to get to the titles that I'm interested in. And as I scroll through the titles, I kind of have diversity on my mind. And I will, oh, where'd New Kid go? It'll work for anyone. Hold on. We'll go to stamped. So here's when I hit the titles detail page, like I just link, like I just did, gives me great information about the book, but now you'll see more information, support your learning objectives. So now I have a link to all these different diversity topics that have been tagged on this particular title. So if I like stamped, I can quickly throw it onto a new list. But now I'm kind of interested. I saw, oh, there's social awareness. Let me click on that. Takes me to other books that have that sort of, those kinds of Follett tags on there, those kind of links. And again, any given title, yes, I can throw it on a list, but if I click on the link, I'll see again, support my learning objectives. Here are the topics that are supported by this book. Excuse me. And I can just keep going on and on. You can build and build. You'll also see over to the right here, we've added the diversity topics browse feature, as well as social emotional learning. So now I can literally just jump away, hit browse diversity topics, and jump away to what is a directory of diversity, the diversity topics. It not only gives me, these are links to titles that are these types of topics, but also there's a little question mark here. I can hit that and actually get a definition of what that topic is. So this is just a great dashboard, another way that you can use Titlewave to kind of find these types of titles. And oh, by the way, if you're in the mood, you can click right over here to social emotional learning and do the exact same thing. Here are the topics, the definitions of those topics, and links to books that support those topics. The other thing I'll quickly show you is that under the main Titlewave page, if you're interested, you can go to For the Library, click there, and you can click this link to diversity as well. And here we have broken out by smaller topics within diversity, all kinds of links to all different types of topics regarding diversity right at your fingertips. And then I'll go back to For the Library, and below For the Library towards the bottom, if you're interested, you can also go over to the Follett tags, the Tag Explorer area by hitting under Library Tools, Follett tags. And this is just a great way to explore Titlewave by all these different topics, literary terms, themes, genres, etc. And the other powerful way to use Titlewave is I can find new books by hitting these bubbles, but I can also hit explore items I already own. So if you can imagine, you click items that I already own, and then, a language arts teacher comes in and says, excuse me, but do you have any books on that feature alliteration or alternating point of view or that sort of thing? You can actually click these bubbles and identify titles within your own collection that do support those literacy terms, and it'll help your language arts folks as well. Now, the last thing I'll show you is we talked about before and during, and now we'll talk about after. So the Analyze List feature has been enhanced. If I click on any one of my lists now and open it up, I've always been able to analyze my list by a couple of different parameters: classification, interest level, reading level. But now we've added diversity and social emotional learning. So I click Analyze my list by diversity topic. And now you'll see, here's my list. This was a $3,000 list. And you'll see here's that list broken down by the support that I'm giving it by item number, quantity of items. And so this is a great way, okay, I've got 63 books supporting African American. I only have, 6 Asian Americans. Maybe I'll go back and kind of tweak that. And it really gives you great information on top of this, including breaking down your list by the price. So now you can now look at your list broken down by the dollar amounts in any given area, as well as percentage of total cost of your list. So saves you time. when you're trying to fill these diversity topics in your collection and in your ordering, you can quickly assess your list, make sure you're meeting your purchasing goals before, during, and after support. And I hope that you will agree that this will really be a time saver and will help you guys support this, these really important initiatives as we move forward. Thanks a lot for your time. And I guess Kim Herring is up now, correct?
Yeah, I got a note, right? Is the chat not working?
I don't know. It seems, I don't know. Chat is
I've
working, I
answered
think
it.
so.
Oh,
Yeah.
there
Yeah,
it goes.
I've
Okay,
answered it.
sorry. Everything just popped up all of a sudden. Never mind. Sorry, Kim, go ahead.
Oh, wait, I got to unshare, right? Hold on. Or maybe Kim can just take over. Hold on. Okay, I just hit stop share. Sorry, guys. Oh, Kim, you're on mute. So
Yeah, I'm just trying to get so I can share my screen here. Um, all right. All right, so as my name's Kimberly Herring, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about collections and taking Tom's discussion about using Titlewave and the content that you purchased, and then transitioning that into the Destiny product into the collections piece. You'll notice that in Titlewave, Tom was talking about that you can take your titles that you already own, and they're already broken out into your diversity topics as well as your social and emotional learning topics. If we transition into Destiny and we go to Destiny Discover, there's a component of Destiny Discover called Collections by Destiny, which is included as part of your subscription. And if we go into collections, we're going to create a collection that's going to be around social emotional learning and diversity. If you're not familiar with collections is it's a creation and curation tool that helps organize information and share it out for curriculum and lesson instruction. So I created a social and emotional learning collection, and I put all the books in that I purchased around that or that I own, purchased or own as part of that collection. And then I've also created some sub collections underneath that organize my collection by my subtopics, by my social emotional learning subtopics, as well as my diversity subtopics. So I'm going to show you how to create this type of collection within your own system. Now, if we go to the private tab, you'll notice in collections we have several tabs. You have a public tab, which is, has public information, public across your school, your district, and then you have public collections that are public across the world. You can search those collections certainly and build off of someone else's collection, but we're going to start off from scratch and build our own. So I'm going to start at the private tab in Destiny, and I'm going to create a new topic, and I'm just going to call it social emotional learning for now, just to keep it different from the one I have already created. And then I'm going to keep that private while I build my collection. You'll notice there's a couple steps here, 1, 2, and 3. So the first step is just to name it, and then you give it a description. The next step is to pick the grades that support this specific collection. I'm going to pick, just a couple grades, and then you would pick your subject areas. Maybe this is, literacy or, or one of the different subject areas that's available. And then you click continue. And this is where you can upload a picture or an image, and use that as part of your collection. So it gives it a little bit of a customization type look and feel. So I could upload something like this. Part of my collection, accept it, and then you can change the color underneath as you prefer. So once you create the environment in which to store your collection, the next step is to bring in content within the collection. There's several ways in which you can do that. You can add content directly from searching within Destiny. So we can first we can search within Destiny and search for a specific book. So maybe I want the title booked. Okay. So it's going to search Destiny. It's going to find that specific item. And you'll notice that we have several books, and this is the one that we're referring to. This one supports our diversity structure as well as our social emotional learning. And we can go ahead and we can click on add to collection. Okay, so that's adding it to the collection. So you can take any book or anything from outside your collection, and you can include that, out inside Destiny, and you can include that in a collection. So if we go back to collections, there's also other ways in which to bring in content. We can bring in content from other sources. So here's the one we were working on. We can bring in content from other sources like a URL. If you look, there's a bookmarklet that's available. So this is a bookmarklet that you see right here. So we can bring in content from any type of outside URL into this collection to be used for lesson assignment. We can structure a playlist. I didn't put a playlist in this one, but we could structure a playlist where it could organize the content within the collection to be delivered to the student in a structured manner to supplement curriculum. We can also upload any type of outside content from Google Drive or OneDrive to support this learning objective or social and emotional learning objective. We can bring in any notes or add any notes that'll support the structure of the lesson. And then we can also bring in collections. So if I organized maybe my collection and I've organized it into sub-collections, I could bring in maybe this digital citizenship or this cultural studies into my collection. Okay. And then you can also import data from a resource list. So if you had content in a resource list, I happen to have all my titles in a resource list. I could go ahead and add all of those into my collection. And then it would add all of my different books or my items or books or any type of material that's in that resource list. You can see in collections, you can organize the content in many different ways, depending on how you want to structure it. This is kind of the Pinteresty view of the system, or you could look at the, as an individual title view or a list view. It's all kind of all your preferences of what you prefer. You can align standards to this collection. You can share this content and collaborate with others. So I could, if I wanted to share this collection with one of my coworkers, I could do that, or my other teacher, and we could build this lesson together. So you can, Katrina can edit it, and I can invite her to do that. You can also share this content with Google Drive, or you can email it. So there's a link. You can copy the link. You can share it directly to Google Classroom, this entire collection once it's created, or you can email the link to someone and then they can view that collection and collaborate with you or use that collection as part of a lesson assignment. Once you've shared your collection, there's a couple other ways to share it. We have the ability to view all activities, so I can see who's worked in this collection and worked in it with me and see all the activity on the collection. And then finally, you can create a PDF of that collection. So this PDF can be a detailed or condensed version of the collection itself. And this is going to give you a supplemental document that's going to be used or can be used for lesson assignment. So this would be ideal for, even a type of remote instruction. We're doing a lot of remote instruction today. You could utilize this with a remote instruction or maybe a homebound student and provide a list of all the supplemental material that support that collection. So you can see here's the link to the collection itself. And then here are all the items within the collection. Okay, so just an example of the things that you can do on the Power of Destiny. So I think next, I think Linda's going to be, is it Linda that's going to be up and talking about the next section?
Thanks, Kim. Let's see if I can get this going here. It'll take me just a minute. If you can let me know if you can see my screen, that would be helpful. No?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Sorry. Does somebody need to give that to me? Give me the, I'm clicking on, sorry.
You can share there, Linda.
I'm on share screen. Hold on. And is that working?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, goodness.
Does Kim need to stop sharing first, maybe?
Did stop sharing.
Okay.
And that's still nobody's, you're not seeing that, Tom?
No.
Okay, let's see what else I can do here. I have an advanced sharing option. Yeah. I'm sorry. I guess then I'll just speak if that's okay. I know we have a limited amount of time here. And so I'm Linda, I'm with Follett Book Fairs. Thanks so much for letting me come and speak a little bit. It's interesting, I've been with Follett for a long time and I used to run Titlewave analysis. So one of the key takeaways I took from your meeting here today is, why would you want to choose Follett Book Fairs? And I think the biggest thing that I get from your meeting is that you're focusing on diversity. And so I think it's important to point out that with Follett Book Fairs, you can select Titlewave rewards as an option. And when you use your Titlewave rewards to purchase books for diversity or whatever reason, you can also get mark records to support you in your effort because you're going to have those subject tags and you're going to be able to include that with your analysis. So we have teamed up in 2018. We teamed up with Kwame Alexander and James Patterson to support All Books for All Kids. So you're going to see books on our fairs, whether it's our e-fairs or our in-school fairs, that support the diversity topic. So with our fairs, right now we're focusing on getting people on our calendar for next year because we're always thinking a year ahead. So we've kind of had this pause in our business and have had to, adjust. And one of the things that we have done is we have created a low touch fair. And this is a fair that is a little bit stepped down. It's not as large as a fair you might get if you had a regular in-school fair. But it does allow you to have an in-school fair where we're concerned about distance, social distancing. So we provide social distance markers. We're given, we roll in cases that are just the roll in cases so that you can put them wherever you may need to, whether you want to roll them into a classroom or you want to have it in a hallway. So it just helps with the situation at hand. We also have e-fairs. Those just started this fall. We're very excited about it. Many schools have been holding our e-fairs. And again, one of the options with our e-fairs is Titlewave rewards. So does anybody have any questions? Very good. All right, Tom.
Okay, well, it looks like we're finishing up a few minutes early to everyone, unless anybody has anything specific they want to talk about. But you know, we'll just close with, you know, thanking New York City so much for being a partner to Follett. We love working with you, and anything we can do to enhance the librarian's role and, you know, enhance our partnership as we continue to develop new ways of, you know, promoting the librarian. We love to do it. So. Like I said, we rolled through all of our partners, all of the people who work with New York City. If there's any question about who your contact is, you know, just let us know. But again, we really appreciate everything that you do. And
I have a question if you don't mind. Hello?
yeah, we hear you.
Okay, I'm the librarian at James Madison High School, Brooklyn, New York. I have a question. How would you order teacher's set through Follett? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you repeat the question? I couldn't quite understand.
How would I order teacher's sets through Follett? Is it possible? Teacher sets, like sets of books, like for the whole class.
So a classroom set.
Yeah, classroom sets.
Yes, you could just order those through Titlewave.
Where are they located in the Titlewave?
Tom? So you would just search for your title within Titlewave. You're already on Titlewave?
Yes, I am. I am compiling my second order already, and I would like to order ebooks. I saw ebooks for multiple users. I believe that the whole class can use those, but I'm not sure if like the classroom sets are available this way.
Classroom sets for ebooks or print books?
Ebooks.
Ebooks. So you can go ahead and order the quantity that you want on ebooks. If it's not an unlimited access license, then you could just put down the quantity of the ebooks that you want.
Just the quantity. You don't have a separate section. That's what my question is.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Well, there is a section called Classroom. Under Department, you can hit Classroom Solutions, and that will take you to the Classroom Support page, and there you should be able to find, you know, what you're looking for, whether it's print or digital.
Okay, thank you so much. That's what I wanted to know. Classroom Solutions. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can follow.
Can I ask a question? Jerry Calandro, Martin Van Buren. Hello?
Fire away.
Okay, thank you. Juliana's been helping me. She's great. But unfortunately, I'm not seeing any e-versions of manga series on Titlewave. There's a lot of manga books, but not any of the series like Bleach, etc. You don't have any e-versions of those?
You are up. Whether a book's available as an ebook is a publisher-driven decision.
Uh-huh.
So if there's a particular title that you're not seeing available as an ebook, it's probably because that publisher is just not willing or ready to sell to the K-12 market the ebook.
I see. I don't see any, not one.
Have you done like a specific title search and then seen no ebooks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably that particular publisher is probably just not doing.
No. I mean, I'm not seeing any of the ones that I have in my library in book form, any of the multiple series available as e-series.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
yes. So you're saying that all of the publishers that Titlewave deals with do not offer their manga series as ebooks?
No, I'm saying that I would guess that unfortunately you've been unlucky in the ones that you're looking for specifically. I mean, I don't know offhand which manga books are available as ebooks.
All right, you know what? I
Yeah,
don't want to take up everybody's time. I'll talk to Juliana off the list when I mean off the Zoom, the Meet, whatever. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if there are any specific questions, we can certainly reach out to you through our reps or reach out to the rep directly, and we can follow up with those answers.
Okay, that's great. I appreciate it.
Is there any other questions about the analysis or the collections? Okay. Well, with that, we'll let everybody go. Thank you again, and we hope to see everybody soon one day in person.
amen.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Damn it, I did this mistake last time.